I'm Dutch, and let's react to the Americans. Hello, and welcome to the channel. My name is Johan, and I'm a typical Dutchman. And if you're planning to come over to Europe for your holidays, or maybe to live here, or you're coming over to the Netherlands, or you're wondering why is everything so expensive in America in comparison with Europe, then you are at the right place. Because in this channel we take a look at the differences between the cost of life and living in the US versus the cost of life and living in Europe. And for today we're going to take a look at a video from Haley Alexis, things Germans can afford that Americans can't. Here we go again. So it's, I guess, the second part. Well, let's start with a subscribe and a like, and then take a look what she has to say. What can we, probably I can do in the Netherlands too. That's she said, Germans, but let's compare those two. Is it Germany only, or can I do it in the Netherlands also that the Americans can't? And yeah, I'm curious what that is. Let's take a look at it. Go.
Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Haley. Welcome to my YouTube.
Haley, I did see already a video of her. And I wasn't okay.
Channel, if you did not know, now you do. Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, first and foremost, I have a hat on, y'all. It has been a while since I have worn a hat, so I just need to make an announcement about it. And also the tag is still on it. I'm keeping the hat is kept. It's just I can't find my scissors to cut this off because trying to rip it off, it's not really working. So yeah, mind your business if you see a tag flapping in the wind. In today's video, I'm gonna sort of go into detail regarding some of the points I made in my previous upload. Some people were confused about things, and this video is going to be titled Things That People in the United States Cannot Afford That People in Germany Can. And maybe it's a broad topic of Europe in general. And so I'm going to keep this intro short, simple, and sweet. This is going to be a rant, you guys. And everyone's like, why do you talk about politics, Haley? Politics has nothing to do with X, Y, or Z. And that is so not true. Everything is about politics.
Yeah, everything is related to politics. Yeah, it's for me it's the same. I rather don't talk about politics, but sometimes, yeah, it's connected. Everything is connected to what the government does, what the politics does. So
Politics impact every area of life. If you were to turn over a stone in a random mossy riverbank that has been untouched for 100 years, it would have something to do with politics. And that is why I constantly bring up some of these topics over and over again on my channel, because I honestly cannot believe that we're still having certain conversations. Wait. And
bless you.
2025. And so with that being said, don't forget to subscribe. I'm probably going to cry now. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know down below in the comment section which of these points you agree with. So something that people in the United States cannot afford, and it just seems like it's going to get worse, especially with this wonderful bill that our what is it? What do I call him? The pumpkin spice Palpatine of the United States of America has signed.
Okay. Oh, how did she call it?
What is it? What do I call him? The pumpkin spice Palpatine of the United States of America has signed into action is healthcare. I will always talk about healthcare. I will always talk about health insurance. I will always talk about access, especially now that I'm working in a hospital and I see it up front and personal, or on a personal level, at a personal scale. I'm like, wow, this is horrendous. People in this country are getting screwed over. And the thing is now, and the trajectory that we are moving at in this country here in the United States, it's going to be even less accessible.
Now, I was wondering, where is she? Is she in America or is she in Germany? So, but she's working in America in a hospital. Okay.
in my opinion, people that really need it. It's usually people in rural areas. It's people that are lower income. It's people that don't have access to education. And this all goes full circle, you guys, because then there's going to be people that say, well, why do you need education? That has nothing to do with healthcare. And if you can't put two and two.
Oh yeah, that's that relation is really there. How better your education is, how well educated you are about your health, about how you have to eat, how you have to do exercise, how to get the right sleep, has everything to do with your health and health care and taking care of your health. Yeah.
Together, then that's not my job to teach you, and that would take way too long than a 15-minute YouTube video. A lot of times the people that need access to healthcare, that would benefit from affordable access to healthcare, are the ones right now that are probably going to be hit with the brute force of what is coming their way. And it's just mind-boggling for me, because I had access, even with paying a premium, because there will be Germans and people in the United States that like to argue, saying that it's not free. And no, nothing in life is free. Me taking a breath costs something, I'm pretty sure. It costs the gas exchange. But there's going to be people saying that it's not free health insurance, it's not free health care. And if you have not been listening to anything that I have said on my YouTube channel for years now, then I don't know what to tell you. Of course it's not free, but I would much rather my money that I pay that is forced to be taken out of my paycheck, because I still have money being taken out of my paycheck, forced to be taken out of my paycheck here in the United States. I'd much rather that money go towards helping myself and helping others, and especially people that are maybe less fortunate than I am, and people that need a little bit more help than the next billionaire trying to buy their multi-million-dollar mega yacht.
Yeah. She's right. It's forced out of your payment check. I do not know the exact percentages, but let's say that free healthcare in Europe means that, for example, 10% of your insurance is paid by your employer, and 10%, another 10%, another 10% is paid by you to the insurance company, and the other 80% is paid by the government. That's it. And then that's your free healthcare, because everything else is paid but 90%, again, we are percentages, 90% of the cost you make in modern care, healthcare, at a hospital, at a doctor, at whatever, it's 90% is paid by the insurance company.
Preventative care, maintenance care, any type of care that you might need is something that is just normal for a German. In the United States, that thing is a pretty penny for the majority of people living in this country. And then there's the argument of, well, in Germany, you're forced to have health insurance. You're forced to pay for health insurance. And in the United States, I can choose if I want to have health insurance, and I can choose if I want to go to the hospital. And my argument is that you never choose to have cancer.
Yeah, okay, that's done. Yeah, it's by law, but by law you need to have health insurance because of the cost. That's clear. Her argument is you cannot choose not to have cancer. You cannot choose not to have a car accident which make you quadruple paralyzed, or you cannot choose your costs if you are need permanent care. It's paid for by others in this case. So Yeah.
Never choose to get hit by a drunk driver or
She makes the same argument.
a non-insured driver. You never choose to be stuck in some of these people in Texas that are going to first and foremost have lost their lives, which is very sad. But the people that are health-wise impacted by the flooding that has happened, they were not preparing for that either. They did not choose for these things to happen, but they are going to have negative medical implications because of these things that they're going to have to take care of in a hospital setting, in a medical doctor setting, whatever it may be, physical, mental health setting, they're going to have to take care of themselves. And a lot of times, probably a lot of people that are living in these areas won't be able to have access to these things because they cannot afford it. It's all
Cannot afford it, or because of the flooding, cannot reach to it, and they go into debt for something that it was out of their influence. They couldn't help that there was a flood. It's, yeah.
always mind-boggling for me when people make this argument here in the United States that they have the choice of choosing if they want health care and they don't want to pay for other people, but they are very okay with other people paying for a road that they drive on. They're very okay with their money going towards bridges. They're very okay with having the convenience of whatever it may be that our tax money goes towards, that is a collective pot of something. These people
Yeah, and most of the tax money goes into something that's collective, not for the people, but for the military.
People that say they don't want to pay for healthcare, they don't want to pay for something that's directly helping another individual, are okay with reaping the benefits of something else that everyone collectively pays for them. It's just selfishness in general, just so much selfishness in this country that you can't make this shit up. I always say you cannot make this shit up, you guys. You can't say that you just want to do everything for yourself, and then say F everyone else, but then want everyone else to care about you in the process of you giving everyone the middle finger. It just doesn't work like that. The next thing that Americans cannot afford and Germans can is something that I brought up in my previous upload, and I thought I went into detail about it, but a lot of people were confused in the comment section, and I guess it's because there are Americans that have never been to Germany, there are Germans that have never been to America, and also both.
Okay. I've never been to America as a Dutch guy, but I've been many times in Germany.
Both of these people have never existed in each other's ecosystem. So me saying one thing and not really going into detail probably left a lot of people confused. And people were confused because they left me comments asking, what the heck do you do in this scenario? I'm talking about PTO, vacation days, sick days, all of that stuff. I stated in my previous upload that in the United States, if you are sick, you don't get any paid time off. That is why a lot of
PTO, paid time off. PTO, yes?
people go to work sick. That is why a lot of people show up sick, because they need to make money. And if they call off 1 shift, 2 shift, 3 shift, 4 shift, then they're going to have a big deficit in their paycheck the next coming up 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, whatever it may be.
If they still have a job, as I understand often, but sometimes if you don't turn up for your shift more than 2 or 3 times, then you're laid off. Go. Bye. You're fired. Find a new job.
And so that is why a lot of people go to work. We don't have, I believe, a federal law. Maybe a few states have a law.
Yeah, I was wondering, is there a federal law? Now she is coming up with a... Currently, there are no federal legal requirements for paid sick leave. For companies that object to Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA, the act does require unpaid sick leave. FMLA provides for up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave for certain medical situations for either the employee or a member of the employee's immediate family. In many instances, paid leave may be substituted for unpaid FMLA leave. Employees are eligible to take FMLA leave if they have worked for the employee at least 12 months and have worked at least 1,250 hours over the previous 12 months and work at a location where at least 50 employees are employed by them within 75 miles. interesting act. And this is state, U.S. Department of Labor. So no, this federal.
Sprinkled in here and there regarding sick time off, but it is a private employer's decision on whether or not they want to give you paid sick leave. Most of the people that I know, I would say at least 90% of the people that I know that work here in the United States do not have access to paid time off when they are sick. I had
They call it, you don't have access to your benefits. It's a benefit. And even then, the previous law showed you have to have 12 months worked for 1,250 hours in that year and 70. Yeah.
One friend that got a higher seniority position at a company, and she had, I believe, 4 or 5 days a year for paid sick leave that she had access to that she could use if she became sick. The other times that she would become sick, she would have to use her PTO or she would just not be paid. That is what I was talking about in my previous upload, because people were like, well, what happens, Haley, if you're a nurse and you get sick? Are you supposed to go to the hospital and work while you're sick? Or if you don't get paid, what do? You don't get paid if you stay home, basically, or you use your PTO, which is also very limited in the United States, to make up that money. And for me, I will just call off. If I miss like a couple $100 for not showing up to work, then it is what it is. But if I don't feel good, if I feel sick, if I feel under the weather, I'm not going to go to work to get other people sick, to get patients sick, to drag myself down even further. And my productivity level is just going to be like at the bare minimum or probably below that. And it's just not a positive, in my opinion, it's not a positive impact on the job, on patient experience, on patient care, and everything else that can be thrown into the mix. And so, yeah, that is the same also for if your kid is sick. You are not like mandated, or you're not required to have time off to take care of your sick kid. So if you are a parent and let's say your kid is sick and you have to stay home with your kid, in Germany, you're going to get that money back. It's going to be.
Yeah, I was wondering when did she come up to the rules in Germany. In Germany, employees are entitled to continued full salary payments from the employer in the event of illness. Yeah, this entitlement generally lasts for a maximum of 6 weeks per year. After that, the health insurance companies pay sick pay. Okay, now I'm thinking about the Netherlands. Yeah, you are entitled to your full salary payments, the same like this, but I don't know if the maximum is 6 weeks. That I do not know. That I do not know. But after that, the health insurance companies pay sick pay, and that's in the Netherlands at least 70% of your normal pay, of your full salary. So 70% of your full salary you get every month to a maximum of 2 years. So in theory, you can be sick for a maximum time of 2 years in the Netherlands and still get paid enough to survive, to get better, to get to the doctor, to get, of course, there are a lot of rules around it. You have to go to the doctor regularly and show that you make progress, and the employer has the obligation, if you or he don't think that you're coming back to work, that he has to guide you to a new job in which you can continue with being productive to the society, etc., etc. So there are a lot of extra rules around it, but yeah, it's very different in the United States than it is in Germany, and I will say in Europe in general, although the maximum number of weeks, etc., will differ from country to country, but in general, this is what is done in Europe about sick days.
Subsidized in some way, shape, or form. Your employer, the government, whoever may be, is going to give you that money. It's going to be funneled to you in some way, shape, or form. But in the United States, you're not going to. You're going to have to use your paid time off, or you're going to have to call off of work. In the United
How much is child sickness benefit? Child sickness is usually 90% of the last net wages. Bundesgesundheitsministerium. The Germans always have those nice long words all connected into each other. Yeah. So in Germany, child sickness benefits usually 90% of the last net wages. Okay. And how many child sick days are parents entitled to? Parents with statutory health for 15 working days legally insured child in 2024, and a 5-year-old single parents can claim 30 days pay. Yeah, but most of the time, no matter, the employees won't do make it too difficult if you have a sick kid at home, because usually you can take care of your sick kid and work from home and do the task. Since we had COVID, there's a lot of facilities to work from home. So if your kid is sick at home, you stay home, but you still can work. You have your computer or your laptop and you can do your work. So
United States, you're not going to. You're going to have to use your paid time off, or you're going to have to call off of work. This could result in also disciplinary action. People in the United States need to be able to put their feet down. The issue is that they have no securities afforded to them, so a lot of people here are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because in Germany you said, okay, whatever, fire me. I'm gonna go get my Arbeitslos. My little, I don't know what it's called anymore. I'm gonna get my money and I'm gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna take a couple months off and search for a job during that time and say bye.
Yeah, fire me, kick me out, and they cannot fire you. I'm not entirely sure, but even if you get fired by your employee in the Netherlands, and I guess in most of Europe, they have to still pay you your salary for the next 2 months, maybe 3 months, and then you go to your unemployment bureau and say, I'm fired and I need money, and you get money from the government. 70% of your final pay.
I still have my health insurance, still have all of these benefits. And in the United States, it's like, if I lose my job today, I'm not going to have any money. All my benefits are gone. My health insurance is going to disappear. And what am I going to do? The next thing.
Yeah, I was too fast with commenting. Yeah, it's you still, when you don't have a job, you still have your health insurance, and your health insurance premium is still there. And that's the beauty in the Netherlands, and I don't know for sure in all the other countries in Europe, but in the Netherlands, you can say to the government, I have less money for the next half year while looking for a new job, then you get an extra from the government to help you with your cost for your health insurance. So even then you get an extra so that you can still afford your required health insurance premium. That's
thing that Americans cannot afford that Germans can are longer, extensive service dinners or meals in general.
Let's try again.
I'm not going to have any money. All my Americans cannot afford that Germans can are longer, extensive service dinners or
longer, extensive service dinners. Doesn't ring a bell. She need to explain me that.
meals in general. And I talk about this constantly on my channel. I talk about the eating out culture that is available in Europe versus the United States. We have a few restaurants here in the United States that, in my opinion, have very good food, that have very good service, but you are a lot of times going to pay a premium for those things, to have nice tablecloths, to have actual cutlery, to have actual glasses, not plastic cups. And for me, that was something that was just available everywhere in Germany. When I went to go get a burger at Ruf's Burger, if you've been there in Munich, and maybe they have other places in Germany as well, you still get a glass, you still get a nice plate, you still have, you know, the tables with nice little decorations and
I never been to Ruf's Burger. I'm honest. No.
flowers and real candles. And I always used to chuckle because I'm like, in the United States, you go to get a burger at a burger joint and you're going to be lucky to get like a real plate. You're going to get a plastic plate, you're going to get a paper plate and a plastic cup and call it a day. And I always say,
Oh, that's what she means, but I don't know the extended part of it. It's yeah, but if you go for, doesn't matter in which restaurant you go, you get decent cutlery and real glasses,
because of the
etc.
simple
Except for the ones that we know as the fast food chains from the good old United States, McDonald's, KFC, etc. They don't, but every other restaurant of fast food, maybe not the kiosk, they don't. But if you stay, and even then, if you go for some fast food, like we call it let's translate it, for French fries, a French fries kiosk where you can have French fries with some meat, and you stay there with salad, you get a good cutlery, everything, maybe not a glass, but yeah.
fact that people in Germany are more like quick to actually cook for themselves. They're okay with eating certain types of meals that maybe wouldn't be considered dinner meals or real meals in the United States. And they also have affordable groceries compared to their USA counterparts. So eating decent in Germany is affordable, and the standard can be relatively high because they can do it themselves. So if they go to a restaurant and that same standard is not met there, what is the purpose in going out to eat? And the
Yeah, okay. Yeah. If I go out, I want to have, if I choose for it, then I want to have a more luxurious experience than I would make it myself, cook it myself, and eat it at home. Yeah, okay. That's something different. Yeah.
United States, a lot of times it's just like the bare essentials of survival for food because everything is so expensive. It's like, I'm overworked, I don't have enough money to go grocery shopping, I need something to eat, I need it to be quick, I don't want all the frills, and I want it also, on top of all that, to be affordable.
And healthy, yeah.
I'm gonna go to this restaurant. And I think it's because we, as people from the United States, don't know what real service is, which is actually pretty funny because in some instances, I do feel like Germans in Germany doesn't know what true luxury is in certain areas. But I would say when you're looking,
this is a train?
which is actually pretty funny because in some instances, I do feel like Germans in Germany doesn't know what true luxury is.
Lufthansa business class and an ice first class. I'm talking to you. Lufthansa is an airplane. I don't know. I'm afraid of flying, so I don't want. But the international class, first class at the train, yeah, it looks very luxurious. This is first class. You immediately recognize this is first class in a train that travels, by the way, let's say we get this one 100, let's say 170 miles an hour. Yeah,
is in certain areas, but I would say when you're looking at the bigger picture, it's actually the United States. Even though we have all of our things, we can buy all of this stuff, we can do all of these things here in our country, we actually don't know what true luxury is. The next thing that Americans cannot afford that Germans can is trade school. And I think the direct
I want a trade school, Berufsschule, vocational school. Yeah, okay. In the Netherlands, it's called middle. Yeah, it's a vocational school. Yeah, MBO. Yeah, that's the school that I worked at. Yeah, okay.
direct translation would be an Ausbildung, right? I don't know 100.
And no, an Ausbildung in German is in English a education. An education is then an education. That's an Ausbildung. But yeah, Berufsschule, vocational school. I want to go back because I didn't know what you want to go with.
The next thing that Americans cannot afford that Germans can is trade school. And I think the direct translation would be an Ausbildung, right? I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's an Ausbildung, an apprenticeship. And this is for jobs.
An apprenticeship is something else again, but an Ausbildung is nur, is said an education. That's it. Yeah.
Jobs like carpenter, plumbing, painter, maybe like a car mechanic and stuff like that.
Yeah, the technical skilled schools. Yeah, vocational schools. And you can't do this. You can't do that in the United States. You can't? Okay.
That some of these things you can learn hands-on on the job in the United States without going to school, but a lot of times you do have to go to a trade school for these things, and they are expensive.
Yeah, I was waiting for that word. They are expensive, and in Germany they are free, and in the Netherlands they are not free, but they are at a very low cost, about, let's say, 1,400 a year. The rest is paid by the government, and while the kids are still beneath the age of 18, the parents get that money too from the government. So yeah, it's free, more or less, with some, yeah, you have to do some extra things, but in general, much cheaper than in the United States.
I looked up carpenter school in my area, and you're looking at around $7,000 to become a carpenter, to become a certified carpenter.
Yeah, $7,000. 1,200 hours, approximately 11 months, Monday to Friday, from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Costs 56. Carpenter fee sheets. Okay. To become a carpenter, this is in Germany, but I know what it is. In the Netherlands, is a 3-year education, but it's not only learning carpenter, it's also learning languages, it's learning calculation, it's learning business, it's having several things, but it takes 3 years. All in all, about 3,000 hours for free to become a carpenter with everything about it. And this is from Germany. You can complete your training with a recognizer. Your monthly training exceeds every 3 years. See, every 3 years of training. In the first year, it amounts to 1,200. Then you receive, yeah.
And in Germany, you actually get paid for these things, and it takes a lot.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. If you're doing it as a bilateral, not bilateral, as a second apprenticeship, then you even get paid to learn. Yeah, I know what you mean. Because you're already working for someone while learning the trade, but because you're working for someone, you get paid. Simple.
Lot longer of time. I believe it takes 3 years, and in the United States it takes 11 months. And this is actually for a lot of the trade.
Yeah, that is only in Germany, because we don't have that in the Netherlands. It's called an apprenticeship. It's called, yeah, being learning.
school
That's, yeah.
programs that are offered in each country. I believe the German side of things takes a lot longer than the USA side of things, which I think has also a big impact on people's pace of life. It's not such a hustle culture in Germany. You're allowed to, you know, take your time, you're allowed to relax, you're allowed to smell the roses, and you can afford to do that because it's not costing you an arm and a leg to do all of these things like it is in the US of A. Underneath,
I wonder why she moved back to the USA if she has lived in Germany.
one of my videos when I talked about how much I paid for school in the United States, someone was like, oh my gosh, you paid $30,000 to become a nurse in the United States. And I was like, well, technically it was probably even more than that when you're talking tuition, books, fees, background checks. We're talking about food, we're talking about gas, we're talking about all of the
Free. Free. Free.
insurance and everything
In Germany, in the Netherlands.
else that goes into, you know, becoming a
Yeah, free. 1,025 a year for everything.
nurse in the United States. Yeah, I paid a lot of crap ton of money for it. And in Germany, if I were to become a nurse, I would go through their like apprenticeship trade program to become one, and I would be paid during all of the things that I would technically be doing, like the same thing in the United States. The years that I spent working in hospitals and paying to work in those hospitals and paying to get my clinical hours, I would technically be getting paid in Germany for that. Even though it's a different level, it's a different degree, it's still the concept, in my opinion, of being able to afford something or something costing an exorbitant amount of money in the United States compared to its German counterpart. And so that is the end of this.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of things that she's talking about here, but most about the three basic stuff. Healthcare is better in Europe. Your sick days, paid sick leave, and paid vacation days, etc., is better in Europe. And your education is better in Europe than in the United States. I hope you liked the video. If you want to see more of this, then you can take a look at one of those videos. And otherwise, I would really appreciate it if you press this button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one.